Hello, story lovers, and welcome back to our magical story time. Tonight, we're venturing into a kingdom filled with moonlight and mystery. So snuggle up, get comfy, and let's begin our adventure. Deep inside the grand, shining kingdom of Ethel, there lived a curious princess named Nira. Unlike other princesses who love sunny days and bright flowers, Nira adored the night. She loved the way gentle shadows danced, the soft breezes whispered secrets, and how the sparkling stars seemed to sleep in the vast, dark sky. One evening, when the moon hung in the sky like a perfect silver coin, a feeling of adventure tickled Neera's heart. She decided to sneak out to the royal garden. As she tiptoed past the grand castle doors, she felt the cool night air on her skin. The garden was her favorite place, but tonight, something felt different. It was quiet, almost too quiet. A special kind of magic seemed to be missing. As she walked past the weeping willows, their long branches swaying like gentle dancers, she noticed a faint, soft light glowing near the lily pads in the royal pond. That's strange, she thought. It wasn't a firefly. She knew their flickering dance well. This light was steady, a beautiful, pearly glow, as if a tiny piece of the moon had fallen from the sky and landed right there on the ground. Curiosity bubbling inside her, Neera crept closer, and there, sitting on a large, flat lily pad, was a frog. But this was no ordinary green hopper. This frog was special. It glowed with a beautiful, pearlescent light, illuminating the water around it in a soft, magical circle. "Hello," Neera whispered, her voice barely a breath. She didn't want to scare the little creature. The frog blinked its large, golden eyes, which shimmered like two tiny pools of honey. To Neera's complete astonishment, it spoke. "Greetings, Princess Nira," the frog replied, his voice a gentle, musical croak that sounded like tiny bells ringing. Neera gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. A talking, glowing frog. This was more magical than anything she had ever imagined. "You can talk," she exclaimed softly. Of course, the frog croaked with a little smile. "I am Lumos, the Moonlight Keeper, and I need your help." Neera knelt by the edge of the pond, completely enchanted. "Help? What's wrong, Lumos?" Lumos sighed, and as he did, his beautiful glow seemed to dim just a little, like a cloud passing over the moon. "The moonstone scepter, the very heart of this garden's magic, has rolled away. It lies hidden somewhere beneath the roots of the old whispering tree." He looked around at the garden with sad, golden eyes. Without its light, the night blooms will never open, and all the beautiful colors of the garden will fade away forever. Neera looked around and noticed what Lumos meant. The usually vibrant moonflowers and evening primroses looked dull and sleepy, their petals tightly closed. The garden, which was normally a rainbow of colors even at night, looked gray and tired. "Oh no," Neera cried, her heart filling with worry for the beautiful garden. "We have to find it. We must." Lumos seemed to brighten at her words, his glow returning to its full, pearly shine. He hopped onto a large leaf floating near the bank. "Follow my light, princess. It will be our guide through the dark patches and shadows." "I'm ready," Neera said, her voice filled with determination. And so, their adventure began. Neera followed Lumos as his gentle light bobbed ahead of her, leading the way. The garden felt different now, more mysterious. The shadows seemed deeper, and the sounds of the night, the chirping crickets and hooting owls, felt like a secret language only they could understand. Soon, they came to a tiny, babbling brook. The water sparkled under the moonlight, but the stones were slippery. Neera had to cross it to continue. She carefully stepped on the smooth, flat stones that made a path across the water. Her arms out for balance, Lumos, from his safe spot on a dry leaf, kept cheering her on. "You can do it. Brave princess, you're almost there. Just one more hop." His encouraging words gave Neera the confidence she needed, and she landed safely on the other side without getting a single drop of water on him. Finally, after what felt like a long journey, they reached their destination, the gigantic, ancient whispering tree. It was the oldest tree in the kingdom, with a trunk so wide it would take 10 people to hug it. Its roots were enormous, twisting and turning over the ground like sleeping snakes, covered in soft, green moss. Lumos hopped onto one of the large roots and pointed his glowing nose toward a deep, dark crevice between two of the biggest roots. "It is down there," he croaked softly, near the mossy stone at the bottom. Neera took a deep breath and gently knelt down on the soft earth. The opening was dark and cool. She stretched her arm as far as she could into the crevice. Her fingers brushed against damp moss and cold soil. Then she felt something different, something smooth and cool to the touch. With her fingertips, she carefully gripped it and pulled it out. It was a moonstone scepter. It was magnificent. It was a long, silver rod, smooth and cool, topped with a large, glittering blue stone. The stone seemed to hold captured moonlight within it, and it pulsed with a gentle, magical light of its own. As soon as Neera held the scepter high in the air, a breathtaking wave of shimmering blue light washed over the entire garden. It was like a magical sunrise happening at midnight. Instantly, the sleepy flowers stretched their petals open, bursting into magnificent pinks, purples, and radiant blues. The garden came alive with color and light, the air filled with a sweet, happy perfume, a wonderful scent that Neera had missed so much. Lumos hopped up and down excitedly on the roof, his whole body glowing brighter than ever. "You did it, Princess! You did it! You saved the night!" he chirped with joy. Neera smiled, her heart full of happiness. She carefully walked back to the center of the garden and placed the moonstone scepter back on its special pedestal, right where the moonlight could kiss it. "Thank you, Lumos," she said, looking at her new friend. "You are the bravest guide I know." From that night on, Princess Nira and Lumos, the Moonlight Frog, were the very best of friends. Every night, they would meet in the garden, sharing stories and making sure that the magic of Ethel as garden always glowed brightly under the watchful silver moon. And Neera learned that the greatest adventures can happen when you are brave enough to step into the dark and help a friend in need. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful journey with Princess Nira and Lumos. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you loved our adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next story time. Sweet dreams, everyone!